Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm speaking with Julio Tirado, Patrick Daniels, and Mike Preston of Hollow Pledge. They have just shared a killer new track called House Lights, and I am super excited to talk to them all about it. Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
Great.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Where is everyone located at the moment?
We're pretty
Uh,
much in the Philadelphia area,
Oh, nice.
uh, northern Delaware, Philadelphia, PA area.
Awesome. So, how did you guys originally meet? Let's just kick it off that way.
um, I'll speak on this one.
Sure.
uh, I met Patrick through the Delaware music scene. Me and Patrick reside in Delaware. Mike is in Philly. So me and Patrick just knew each other through our local music scene and our previous projects. And then when Hollow Pledge was created, I pretty much messaged him and said, "Hey, like, you know, I'm trying to do this project. Do you want to play leads?" Because he's infamous for his leads in Delaware. So
Nice.
um, so he immediately said, "Yeah, pretty much." And then we actually found Mike 7 months later on Craigslist, and
No way.
he said, and he was, I guess at the time he was like just kind of trying to see what was out there as far as like projects to join. And from what I remember, he told me that he did get a couple offers, but when we sent him ours, he just really liked what we were doing, I guess. So he joined us, came down for like a tryout, but he instantly killed it that same day.
That's
We were just
that's the
hoping he
best.
stayed. We are like, please come back, because at that point we had like tried out like 4 different drummers, and all of them were like, "Yeah, you guys are good, but we don't really want to commit to this and stuff like that." But Mike stayed, so and
Hell
then you
yeah.
got house.
That's awesome. Well, I gotta say this new song is fantastic. It like personally speaking on the type of music that I listen to, it scratches that itch for a few different genres. So wasn't expecting it going in, but ultimately I came out a fan. The first thing I want to know about the song is really what it's about, what it means to you, and yeah, love to hear the background.
So I wrote the lyrics to it. Mike actually composed like the hook for the instrumentals.
Mhm.
Um, as far as like the dun, 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 that part there. Um, Me and Mike did that at the practice spot. But lyrically, at the time that I wrote it, I was kind of going through this thing with a girl that I was seeing at the time, and it was okay at first, and then we kind of like dissipated from each other. But like not long after me and her kind of stopped talking, like I seen her on social media with another guy immediately, and yeah, so
Worse.
that didn't feel too good. So me and Mike were composing the instrumentals of the song. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect time to just kind of get it all out. So yeah, essentially the song was pretty much about just on the woman's side of kind of playing the field, if you will, you
Mhm.
know.
Nice.
So from like a male's perspective.
Sure, sure, sure. Well, I mean, I gotta say, obviously, the instrumentation on the song is big and it's bold, to say the least.
Cool.
Who does what in terms of instrumentation and vocals?
Well, Julio and I both, uh, obviously, I do a mixture of rhythm. Julio mostly does the rhythm guitars, and I do some rhythm, and then I do a lot of lead work as well.
Nice.
Um, a lot of areas where he's already doing heavy rhythm, I add kind of a lot of textural and ornamental parts that just kind of fill it in more, make it more interesting. Um, and Mike bangs the drums. So, and of
Thanks.
course, Julio put down
Sure.
all the lead vocals. None of us else sing in the band.
Very cool. All right, then in terms of production, do you guys have any outside help when it comes to like polishing these tracks up in the end?
Um, I mean, if I'm understanding your question right, are you asking like if we have like outside opinions before we settle on a song? Like
No. Just like obviously you guys are the band yourselves, but do you have any outside help in terms of like,
writing music?
yeah, mixing, mastering, producing, putting final touches
Oh,
on things?
yeah. I mean, we each have home studios, so like
Oh, cool.
we each kind of like pass ideas around through our own stuff. We don't really, I mean, we don't like mix and master our own material. We go
Right.
to someone else for that. We worked with a guy named Colby who runs Stallium Studios when we did our first single called Breakthrough, which is also out there.
Awesome.
We did it through him, who's located in New Jersey. And then for House Lights and for the rest of our upcoming EP that we'll be releasing early January, we went through a guy named John Sambrick, who's located out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So we don't really have a dedicated person that we go to, but I think and his studio is called Thornwall Studios.
Awesome.
So I think we've definitely fell in love with the sound that he helped us produce as far as like mixing and stuff. We went through Chris Crummett, who's known for mastering Dance Gavin Dance's albums. Well, we went through him for mastering this EP. So he actually mastered House Lights. But yeah, I think we can all agree when we say that we fell in love with John's stuff. He's a really good guy to work with. He's really talented, and he's young too. So like, I mean, he's still learning everything.
Very cool. Well, I mean, from what I've heard, you guys are nailing it. So I say keep up the good work. I was going to save this for later, but now that you brought it up, yes, you guys do have an EP on the way. Is there anything that you'd willingly like to share before its release? Obviously, you don't have to give too much away, but any highlights?
Do you guys have any highlights before I say mine?
You got it, dude.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to hint at the single we're about to drop off it, but I think that's what you wanted to share too.
Yeah, go ahead, share it, drop it.
Well, we're dropping another single, I think, next week, the 17th.
Okay.
And that's featuring Andreas, which Julio made that happen. To elaborate.
Okay. So I think the only highlight besides the EP being fucking great, if I'm able to cuss, I'm sorry.
You can do whatever you want. There's no rules here.
The tracks are great. The EP is good. We worked really hard on it just to put that out there.
Sure.
Took a long ass time. I mean, we've been writing it for 2 years. One of the songs took about 3 months to write, and we wrote like 4 different versions of it. And I believe that's the opening track to the EP is that one. That was difficult. But yes, next Friday, December 17th, we're releasing our second single to promote it. That one's titled Up and Up. And Andreas, who's really known in that like kind of swancore, Dance Gavin Dance, post-hardcore scene. I don't think anything he plays is post-hardcore per se, but he's just so popular in that scene. But I was able to get him to feature with us, which is pretty cool. And I think that's going to do a lot for the band, just kind of getting our name out into a different scene, obviously through him. But cool guy, he's very talented. And I'm really proud of this one because at least in Delaware, like we don't have a lot coming out of Delaware, but we have a lot of talent in Delaware.
Yeah. Isn't it
so
the
it's
smallest
a-
state?
Huh?
Isn't it the smallest state, or is that?
It's definitely one of the smaller states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rhode Island is the
Yeah,
smallest
that might
state.
be it. Either way.
But no, just being able to have like a upcoming name like that featuring in one of our songs is
Sure.
kind of an accomplishment for me, and I'm sure I can say that on behalf of the band. So that's pretty cool. That's kind of the highlight of the EP there.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely the single that's about to come out too. Make sure to mention it. I want to hear a little bit more about the band dynamic and how it really works between you guys on the process side of things. So, is it one person that's always introducing like song ideas? Do you guys, bounce ideas off each other, or is it like do you try to come to practices with already flushed out songs?
Uh, I think it's a mixture of all those things.
Hmm.
Sometimes Julio will have a riff, or even like a whole entire song idea, and then Mike and I will just try to like improvise and come up with things in rehearsal, and then work on them more like in our own like practice spaces at home.
Hmm.
And then like when we come back, we'll sort of have more refined ideas, and then just try to tighten up those ideas and try to have an actual song there. And then other times, I'll write a riff here and there, and then we'll build off of that, or I'll send, almost a complete song, and then we'll kind of like slice it up in such a way where we can put it together where it's like where it's suitable over a set of lyrics.
Gotcha.
And I mean, it's all over the place. It's like we don't have like a specific process or formula, but we do like have our own like setups where we like to kind of demo things and then like send them to each other in Messenger.
Nice. Okay, so then in terms of actual sound, like the type of music that you're making, do you guys feel that you get along because you have similar like inspirations and influences to, like outside bands?
Hell no.
No,
Absolutely.
really? Okay.
Hell no. And I say that in a good way. Like,
Oh, of course. No, that's usually the best. If y'all listen to the
I'll
same
let
thing,
Mike
it sounds
explain.
the
Like,
same.
I'll let Mike explain the difference in
Please.
where we all come from.
Oh, well, yeah, we all have pretty different tastes in music. And I think just in general, how we look at writing. So that's why we have the sound that we do.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say me, I'm personally into like more modern metal music.
Hmm.
And Patrick's more into like the classic and, along the lines like Metallica and
Sure.
bands with guys who shred, as you could say.
Of course.
And Julio, I feel like, is all over the place. He listens to a lot of. He's got an eclectic palette.
Do you find that
Yeah.
that makes it more difficult for you guys, or that it opens you up to making different kind of music? I mean, obviously, what you're making really does span genres, so I have to assume it's a net positive.
Sometimes it can be difficult, but then sometimes, when it is worked out, you do get a very different dynamic in the song than when you hear a band that all have the same influences,
Mhm.
because it, frankly forces us to write, shit that sounds completely different than most other bands,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we did a an interview with a friend of mine who does her own blog. Her name is Kylie. She does That Music Chick blog, and I think Patrick said it the best, because we come from different kind of like backgrounds as far as musical interests and like writing approach, sorry, and stuff like that. It is a bit of a challenge. There's aspects of like the old school rock that I like
Sure.
that me and Patrick are able to kind of like connect on. There's aspects of more modern rock that me and Mike are able to connect on. But sometimes it's difficult because we're just simply because like we're just trying to, I guess, get the best feel for whatever idea we're writing. We have like many different directions that we want to take a song, and it's just hard to settle on one. And that opening track that I mentioned earlier, it was the case with that one. We like wrote 4 different versions because we just couldn't settle on one direction. We wanted to write one that felt the best direction to go. So that's pretty much the challenge. But once we write a song and we all agree on it, which there are times where we all flow pretty well. Some of the tracks on the EP were written incredibly fast, and some of them took a little longer. But it all sounds great, like just the different dynamics and the different things that we all have to offer.
Sure.
And it makes it easier to appeal to a wider audience. Patrick, bringing kind of like the older fan base and like just older metalheads, and me and Mike kind of tailoring to the newer generation. So
makes sense. Very cool. Is there something in the process that you guys look forward to the most when you're, I guess, starting a new record? Whether it's just like the initial creation of like, what do we do, all the way to the clicking publish button?
I always look for, trying to write something that I know is going to be really fun to play live, and two, just has like that instant hook and energy to it that I would hope like anyone who listens to Taylor Swift to like Anthrax would enjoy.
Sure.
So I mean, those are the two things like I look for, and obviously like I want to enjoy writing it, and I want to enjoy recording it and playing it. If all those elements fall into place, then I mean it's just a good song. But anybody else's opinions are welcome. Obviously, you're here.
Go ahead, Mike.
I would say my favorite part of that whole process is getting into the studio. We prepare a lot when we go to record. So like doing all of our parts, recording them, and watching the song come together and finally hearing that finished product.
Nice.
I think that's very enjoyable, just kind of seeing your hard work pay off.
Right.
So yeah, that's probably my most enjoyable part of it, is being in the studio and just watching it get pieced together.
Can you repeat the question one more time? I like missed that.
No, that's okay. So basically the question is, throughout the entire process, from the initial, writing and recording, getting ideas, all the way to the, clicking submit button, is there something, along the lines that you enjoy the most or that you look forward to the most?
My answer is a little more, I guess you could say, unexpected. I actually enjoy when I write a part that I really like and that the guys really like as well, which is really an underrated statement in my opinion, because you could write a part and bring it to the band and they just go, dude, this sounds like shit, or hey, this doesn't fit, which is usually the more common thing. But I think that's my favorite part, is like us writing something that each other can enjoy and like really build off of. Yeah. So that's probably my favorite part of the whole process.
Cool. Awesome. Are you guys touring at this point, or have you played any shows locally?
We're touring in January. We're just doing a 4-day tour. Our dates are like Atlantic City, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Brooklyn, New York, and Baltimore. That's pretty much what we got going. We have a few local shows in Philly, Wilmington, Delaware. We have some out in Lancaster, Pennsylvania coming up. Just kind of like tri-state shows, pretty much.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
is there one song off the EP that you're looking forward to playing live the most?
None of them.
None of them?
Well, we've been working on this stuff for like 2 years. We've been playing these songs over and over again. They're already old songs to us.
Right.
But if I had to pick, I mean, it would be one that we haven't talked about or released yet, which is it's called Up and Up. It's actually the single that Mike mentioned, but that's probably the biggest one that I look forward to playing, because we haven't played it live yet. Everything else we've played live at least once,
That makes sense.
I guess for me, I'm excited to play certain parts of each song.
Okay.
So we're kind of, I guess we're like falling or more comfortable considering ourselves some sort of easy core type thing, punk rock type, obviously, or pop punk. But a few of our songs have like chuggy parts or parts you can kind of like bounce to, kind of push around, little bit of moshing here and there. So I guess those parts I'm really excited to like see people's reaction and see if there's anyone that's gonna shove somebody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I've got one more question for you guys, and it's basically how I like to wrap up everything, or every time I get to talk to, a great band like you guys. The question is basically for those that are going to discover you from this, and for those that are going to listen to your music for the first time, what is an opening message you'd like to say to them?
I guess I'll answer this for the band, or unless you guys want to add on after. I would say, well, first of all, thank you for giving us your ears and giving us a chance musically. I would say that we hope you like the music. It's fun to listen to. And we worked very hard to provide any listener pretty much provide them with a fresh sound of music. It's something that they could kind of take with them throughout any part of their day, no matter what song we have. And that, we hope they stick around and see what else is to come from Hollow Pledge going forward. And definitely come out to a show and see us, please. Add us on Spotify.
I think that's a great answer. Unless you guys have anything else to say.
Yeah, I mean, if you can make one of our shows, that would be awesome. If you're living, in the Midwest and you love us so much where you could drive all the way here to near Philadelphia, then I mean, you're just amazing.
Very cool. All right. Well, Julio, Patrick, Mike, I want to thank you guys so much again for taking the time out of your day to do this. For everyone else out there, the band is called Hollow Pledge and the song is called House Lights. I say check out House Lights, but also stay tuned because from the sound of it, there is a ton more on the way. We'll make sure to add all the listening links and the follow links, so I suggest everyone do that. But again, I just want to thank you guys so much equally for taking the time. It really means a lot.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I hope to speak soon and have a great rest of your day.
All right, take it easy.
Take care. Bye-bye.